Round about that time to get sliced up. Um, Happy New Year, guys. Hope you guys had an incredible festive season. Um, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't do like my normal routine throughout the week with the full car predictions and only doing the upsets predictions. But I was tired, guys. I don't want to lie. I was super tired. Another thing, I'm using a microphone, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Because I've noticed that sometimes I'm not very audible, especially when I move around or when I'm holding the phone. Um, my audio normally like gets covered up by my hand. So as you can probably see, bro, how confident are you on Gadzia Sulov? We'll get there. We'll get there, my guy. I promise. But I'd say I'll see. I still have to. I still have to. What do you call it? Go through the entire card. Even though I've done research, I'm going through. I'm going to go through the research with you guys. So I'm confident. Like I'm confident, as you can see from my um safe and risky predictions. As you can also see from my shots, I did say the fight was safe, but obviously, normally, my opinion can change, especially in these lives. Once upon an oil fest says like he's very confident. So to be honest, like his picks, his predictions are normally pretty good. So you can listen to him because sometimes there are fights that I'm like, I'm going to go this way, he goes the other way, and then he gets it right. So, and he's one of my subscribers, so normally their predictions are also really incredible. So you can listen to him. Actually, let's get started. Happy New Year once again. I hope you guys had an incredible festive season. I'm going to try and live stream the Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas and every fight card and pay per view moving forward. Any underdog pick? I think I've already posted Dudakova as one of the under, but the problem with WMMA is that man, they're very unreliable. Even the main event, I'm very confident in Amanda Ribas actually winning, but obviously Amanda Ribas is not an underdog. But the point I'm trying to make is that women's MMA fights are not really easy to predict, to be honest, because in the main event, if the main event was a normal fight, let me see. Dudakova is plus 6, but I'm not picking her. Yeah, well, I think Dudakova is probably going to win that fight. Short McGee, welcome to the stream, my guy. Dern. Dern is not gonna win, man. But it's WMMA, so anything can happen. But Mackenzie Dern is not gonna win unless she's on something, which I've heard that's the rumor. But I don't think Mackenzie Dern is going to win this fight, man. Um, Once upon an oil fest, good volume. I think it is an even fight. Uh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're talking about Fatima Klein and Dudekova. Yeah, I would be more inclined to say that's an even fight. But the main event, I don't think is an even fight. I feel like Amanda Ribas is definitely going to win. And in my personal opinion, I felt like Mackenzie Dern was a little bit more threatening, or was significantly better um, earlier in her career. I think right now she's distracted by the fame and attention that she's getting from all the dudes. So I think it's distracting her. She's no longer as focused. I think she's no longer as hungry because she has money. It's like Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor used to be like one of the most impressive fighters in the UFC, and then after he got money and the fame, we all know what happened. So I feel like Mackenzie Dern obviously did not go the negative route that Conor McGregor went on, but still, I feel like it has the same effect on her so far, as far as I've seen. Obviously, in her last fight, she looked very improved, but nonetheless, I still feel like the same effect. Actually, I'll get to that fight. You guys are distracting me. um, Let me see. People comment and then they leave, and then I'm replying to comments to of people who are no longer on the stream. So I'll just make sure that once I'm done going through the entire card, I respond to all of you. Yeah, and I got disturbed. I think I'm going to start live streaming every single pay per view and fight night card. I'm very worried because I'm still trying to purchase the subscription in South Africa. I haven't done that. But I'll find a way. I'll find a way. And I'm also visiting someone. It won't be my normal location, so I'm worried about the lighting. But I'll figure it out. Anyway, Norulo Aliyev versus Joe Selecki. My subscribers and I went with Norulo Aliyev. Aliyev is the favorite at minus 540, and Joe Solecki is the underdog at plus 400. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, man. I mean, I understand that Joe Solecki is coming in on short notice, um, but it's always disappointed. It's kind of like what's that lady's name who trains at the gym that Hamza Chimaev used to train at? Who was fighting a couple of, I think he was fighting on the Buckley versus Kobe Covington card. I forgot her name. Josephine Knudsen, something like that. Like her finishing rate was significantly low, but she was supposed to win. But because of that element, I feel like it's hard for me to be extremely confident in people who do not have a high finishing potential. Basically, Joe Solecki has it. Aliyev doesn't. I mean, Aliyev has like a 22% finishing rate, if I'm not mistaken. I should have written everything down here. And then I think Joe Selecki has something like 70% or 70 something percent. So it's really difficult for me. Like, a lot of people thought that Josephine Knudsen would win, including myself. But I remember when I was breaking down the fight, it was like, it's really difficult for me to have confidence in someone who does not finish fights, because most likely it's easy for them to lose a decision because the other person is used to finishing fights, so it might look good in front of the judges, right? I saw my subscribers said this fight is safe. I disagree. I feel like it's one of the riskiest fights on the card. I'm also even surprised that Aliyev is minus 540, because 22%, irrespective of how good you are, as long as you don't finish fights, to me, you're not a threat. That's the argument I used when I was talking about Kobe Covington. Um, to say, if I'm not scared that you're going to submit me, or you're going to somehow, I don't know, knock me out, then there's no reason for me to actually hold back. I can actually press you and actually try to get the finish. And even if I don't get the finish, what I do will eventually or basically look good in front of the judges, right? With that being said, I'm still picking Aliyev. I still feel like he's the better fighter, but I still did the same thing again. When I picked Josephine Knudsen, I was like, I felt like she's the better fighter, but I didn't like the fact that she had such a low finishing rate. And it's odd for a guy to have 22% finishing rate is not good. I don't know how he's going to do as he climb up the ranks, but I mean it's working for what do you call him? The guy who's at featherweight who was fighting Aljamain Sterling. I forgot his name, but it's working for him. He hasn't had a finish in the UFC, but is in the top five and potentially might be fighting for the title, maybe in his next fight, or maybe next two fights. Maybe he might be fighting for the title. But nonetheless, whenever you have a low finishing rate, irrespective of how good I feel like you are, I believe you are a fight away from being fraud checked, right? Unless you are that guy. I'm sorry, I forgot the guy's name, man. What's his name? What's his name? Okay, let me not even try to think about it too much. So, an upset is definitely possible here. Evloev, thank you, thank you, thank you. Aryan, thank you for that, my guy. Yes, Evloev. Evloev is probably the only person who I know who hasn't finished anyone in the UFC and is in the top five. I know Bilal. People like to say Bilal is a decision machine, but he has a finish. I don't know how many they are in the UFC. I mean, he finished on Brady. Who else did he finish? I can't remember, but I think he has a couple of finishes in the UFC. Maybe one. I don't know. But still, it seems like there is a possibility for you to have success, even if you're a decision machine. But it's not many people who have that ability, and I don't know, man. I guess we'll just have to wait and see with Aliyev. But at this stage in his career, I'm not too confident. I wouldn't say the fight is safe, so an upset is definitely possible here. I don't know why they're high um, in his favor, you know. But it seems like the odds makers are high basically on this card because on the next fight, Fatima Klein versus Victoria Dudikova. My subscribers went with Fatima Klein. I went with Victoria Dudikova. Fatima Klein is the favorite at minus 900, and Dudikova is the underdog at plus 615. Do I think an upset is possible? I mean, 100%. Like, even though my subscribers, and I respect my subscribers' picks, my subscribers actually picked Fatima Klein, but they said the fight is 100% risky. And with my subscribers, that hardly ever happens. You need to also take into consideration that my subscribers vote, right? And it's not just one person. It's different people from around the world. Some are from the United States. Some are from Canada, the United Kingdom. So these people around the world agree that all of them agree that this fight is 100% risky. So if all of them agree that this fight is 100% risky, it's incredibly interesting to me that the odds makers feel like this fight is so heavily on Fatima Klein's side, which is honestly odd because let me see. When it comes to striking, I feel like it's going to be more or less even, man. I feel like defense wise, Fatima Klein, I think, is going to be better. Offensively, I think Victoria Dudikova will be better. She has the power, in my opinion, in this particular situation. I think she has the volume. Um, so on the feet, I feel like it's going to be evenly matched. On the ground, let me see. I don't know, man. I feel like maybe what do you call her? Fatima Klein is very untested. I mean, both of them lost their previous fights, so I can't really say how good Fatima Klein is. But she seems like she likes to wrestle a little bit, or rather, the success that I've seen, she's had a bit more success on the ground than what do you call her, Victoria Dudakova. But you have to also keep in mind that Victoria Dudakova. Okay, before I continue, is the stream okay, guys? I'm sorry. Let me see. I apologize about that. If the stream is not okay, let me know, guys, if the stream is still not. Um, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm using 5G. I don't know what the problem is, man. Like sometimes it just irritates me because you think you're using like 5G and then it does things like this. Let me try and continue. I'm sorry, guys. I honestly apologize. So, like I was saying, I feel like people are discrediting Dudakova because of the Sam Hughes loss, right? And it is a bad loss, but Sam Hughes has performed decently even in loss. Arya, how are you, man? Wow, there's Aryan and Arya on the stream. That's interesting. Good evening, my guy. Welcome to the stream. So, I think a lot of people are discrediting Dudakova due to the Sam Hughes loss, and I feel like it's not a bad loss in my own opinion. I feel like that's a really decent. loss in my. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me personally, I feel like Dudakova faced a higher level of an opponent in Sam Hughes than anyone that Fatima Klein has faced. To be honest, so it's kind of like someone who looks good in the regional scene. It's easy to dominate everyone in the regional scene until you come into the UFC, and I feel like Dudakova has had UFC experience, and even in that loss, I mean, Sam Hughes is ranked. Can you guys help me with the ranking of Sam Hughes? I think I should have checked this, but I think Sam Hughes like ranked somewhere in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Isn't she ranked somewhere in the top 10? Just please check for me, guys, and let me know in the comment section. So I think even in her last fight, I think she was fighting another prospect in a previous fight, and I think she performed really well. So to me personally, I don't feel like the loss to Sam Hughes is that bad. I was obviously disappointed because I felt like Dudakova should have definitely won that fight, and she lost. And obviously that's WMMA, but that's what normally happens. It's like the lady, the Brazilian Ronda Rousey. I forgot her name. The lady who trains with Jelton Almeida. She was in the same situation and she actually lost and then came back and actually won. And I picked her when she was fighting Dan Hardy's wife. I forgot her name. I'm forgetting people's names. I'm sorry. Dan Hardy's wife. She was fighting Dan Hardy's wife, and people were saying I'm crazy for picking that lady. And then she ultimately ended up winning, because I know that person is actually good, just that unfortunately in that moment you fought someone who probably had your number. But it doesn't necessarily discredit the fact that you have some level of skill, right? And I know that in women's MMA, whenever you look feminine, it means that you're probably going to lose, but I feel like Klein also looks a little bit feminine. So, like, I think it's 50-50 in this particular instance. I don't understand minus 900 for Fatima Klein unless there's something I'm missing. I actually said this in the comment section. Yeah, Victoria Hardy. Thank you. Thank you for that. Who was fighting Victoria Hardy, by the way? Can you actually enlighten me on that? I forgot her name. That's the example I wanted to make. She was fighting Victoria Hardy, and then people were clowning me for actually picking the other lady, and then I was like, but I think she's going to win. I mean, that's the same feeling I have about Dudakova. I'm not extremely confident in Dudakova actually getting it done because to me it's a little closer than the odds makers are making it seem. Is it Victoria Hardy? Okay. Anyway, so I'm picking Dudakova. I think it's 50-50. I see a lot of people picking Fatima Klein. I honestly don't see why, because she's very fairly untested. I feel like Sam Hughes tested the Victoria Dudakova a lot, and I feel like Dudakova actually passed. She showed that she is not just a pretty face; she actually has that dog in her. Because there are a lot of moments in that fight where she could have given up and just taken the L, but she fought to go to a decision, and that tells me that she's got that dog in her, and she has that ability to actually improve. And I feel like Dudakova is going to come in improved. I'd like to be right about this particular fight because I think out of the top channels that actually have good predictions, I think I'm the only person who's actually let me just say out of the top channels who had like quality predictions in 2014, I think I'm the only one who's picking Dudakova. So I'd like to be right about this one because I think it's crazy unless I'm missing something. Anyway, I'm sticking with my pick of Dudakova. My subscribers picked Fatima Klein. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But an upset is definitely possible here. But it's women's MMA. Anything can happen. But I think Dudakova is going to win this one. I'm not highly confident, but I feel like the experience favors her. Um, and then I think she's the better all-round fighter. I think she can defend the takedowns. I think on the feet the fight will be a little bit closer. But I feel like Dudakova, because of the little power that she has, she's going to land a little bit more effectively. And as a result, I think she's going to actually win the judges' scorecards. Especially when it comes to robberies, I feel like Dudakova probably wins. So yeah, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. On to the next one: Magomed Gaziasulov versus Bruno Lopes. My subscribers and I went with Magomed. Magomed is the favorite at minus 225. Bruno Lopes is the underdog at plus 185. Do I think an upset is possible? Nah, man. I don't think an upset is possible here. Isn't Bruno Lopes like 35? I don't know. But apart from that, I think on the feed, Magomed is going to be significantly better. On the ground, I think Magomed is going to be defensively better. Let me see. Is it defensively better? Offensively, let me say offensively better. I think Lopes might be good defensively, but not good enough. I don't know, man. I feel like there's nowhere I see Bruno Lopes winning this particular fight. But like I said, there isn't a lot of information on him, so probably he might surprise us. A lot of the newer, I don't know if I should be calling him new, but nonetheless, I don't feel like he's good. Um, I stand to be corrected. Yeah, I don't think he's good. I don't think he's that good, man. I can't see any path to victory for him in this particular fight, to be honest. So I feel like Magomed Gaziasulov is definitely going to win this fight. I don't think an upset is possible here. On to the next one. Ernesta Karakati versus Nicoli Cagliari. My subscribers and I went with Cagliari. Ernesta Karakati is the favorite at minus 275. Cagliari is the underdog at plus 220. Do I think an upset is possible here? It's women's MMA. An upset is always possible. um, but let me be actually serious here. Yeah. Um, an upset is definitely possible here. Obviously, I'm picking Cagliari for a reason. Let me see. Let me try to actually break down the fight. On the feed, I'd say maybe Ernesta has a slight advantage. Um, Let me see. Sub Brosev. How you doing, man? I'm going to reply to everyone in the comment section once I'm done. I just want to get through the fights first, and then we can talk afterwards. So on the feet, I think maybe Ernesta might have some type of a slight advantage because of the reach. Because I think it's going to be evenly matched on the feet. And then on the ground, I don't know, man. I feel like Cagliari might have some level of an advantage. I don't know if it's that significant, but I think it's going to be there. Women's MMA. I'm not very confident in Cagliari, so anything can happen here. I don't blame anyone who decides to pick Ernesta Karakati or Karakati. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but um, I think this is a 50-50 fight, but I'm leaning more towards Cagliari. I think she's all around slightly better, but she's a little bit more inexperienced, so that worries me a little bit. So yeah, I mean, just stay away from this one. Um, a lot can happen, so just stay away from this one. But I'm still sticking with Cagliari. Not very confident, but an upset is possible here. Obviously, I picked Cagliari, and she's the underdog, so I think an upset is possible. Anyway, on to the next one. Preston Parsons versus Jacoby Smith. My subscribers went with Preston Parsons. I went with Jacoby Smith. Preston Parsons is the underdog at plus 410, 410, and Jacoby Smith is the favorite at minus 550. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, no, I don't think so. I mean, I'm still worried because Jacoby Smith is basically making his debut, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously Preston Parsons has had some level of experience in the UFC, so that could play a significant role. But I feel like Jacoby Smith is good enough, even if he doesn't get the finish, which I think he should. But even if he doesn't get the finish, normally whenever someone who I think is this decently talented will come into the UFC and actually go to a decision because he's good. Obviously, there are so many things that are involved in in someone's debut. You're not used to that level of opponent, and like there's so many other elements. Unless you are that good, people like I don't know Hamza Chimaev, you come in and you just dominate the person in your debut. There are so many examples that I can make of people debuting who are just savages. So maybe Jacoby Smith is like that, but it still remains to be seen. But at this point, I think the safer prediction would be that maybe it goes to a decision. Um, it's incredible that he's minus 550, especially for a debutant, which means a lot of people think he's really, really good. Especially if Magomed Gatiasulov is minus 225 and Jacoby Smith on his debut is minus 550. It's incredible. But anyway, in all honesty, I don't think Jacoby Smith is going to lose this fight. Even as a debut, and I know the argument can be, well, he's been crushing cans. Yeah, that's a valid argument. But even though he was crushing cans, I still feel like that experience can actually help him get a decision. I don't know if he's going to get a finish, especially because he's coming in on short notice. But I feel like it should be enough for him to actually, I don't know, get a decision. I mean, that's the best I can say he can get at this point. But he definitely should get the finish. Him and Gadzia Sulov, I feel like should get the finish. But most likely it might go to a decision. Anyway, on to the next one. Tiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. My subscribers and I went with Tiago Moises. So Tiago Moises is the favorite at minus 195. Trey Ogden is the underdog at plus 162. I think an upset is possible here. 100% possible. I think this might be the fight that I am wrong about. Obviously, the women's fights, they're always, unpredictable. But in the men's fights, I think Trey Ogden has that ability to actually upset us, like massively, massively so. Um, whew. And it's sad because Thiago Moises trains at the Fighting Nerds. Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Thiago Moises, and I don't think it's a new thing. I think Thiago Moises has been training with the Fighting Nerds for a while now. Um, Unless if I'm missing something, but Thiago Moises has been training with the Fighting Nerds, and for some reason is not performing the same way as they are. And Thiago Moises has been in the UFC for so long that you would think that he's like 35 and he's still like very young. Like I think he's like 29 or something, which is like odd for me because like why isn't he performing like the way others are performing? He's still good, but I mean, look at Gene Silva. I think he's in the lightweight as well. Maybe like 1 year or so, he was with American Top Team for a while. Oh, oh, okay. Thank you for that, my guy. He is a nerd for like at least a year now. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for that information. Let me see. They pretend he doesn't exist because he isn't unbeaten. Well, my that's terrible. That's terrible. Thank you, guys. Okay, maybe then it means he probably might improve. I'm hoping he might improve because he's still very young, and it's really sad to actually know that it's probably painful to know that you are 29 years old. You have given the champion the current reigning champion, who's number one pound for pound, a decent amount of a challenge, and you're not even in the top 15 in the world, which shows how talented. Maybe it's not even just talent. I feel like Petty Pimblet versus Thiago Moises. I think Thiago Moises might probably win. I think it also comes down to favorable matchups sometimes to get into the rankings. But it's crazy that it's not even in the top 15. So I'm glad that he's there. He's been there for like a year. I'm hoping that he actually improves. Cause it's sad, man. It's honestly sad. I would be okay with it. Like if you fought Islam Makhachev and you're like 36, 37, I mean, like you're past your prime. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you're still, he's not even in his prime yet. Like his prime is going to come in maybe within the next 2 years. And the person that you fought is like the current reigning champion and is going on his like fourth defense and is about to become potentially one of the greatest lightweights in history because if he defends successfully against Aman Sarukian, he's going to have the most defenses, if I'm not mistaken. I think the most defenses, isn't it three in the lightweight division? You actually gave that guy a bit of a challenge, and you're not even in the top 15. It's sad, man. So I'm hoping being with the fighting nerds is going to help him. But as far as what I'm looking at here, I'm not so confident in him actually winning. If there's one upset that's highly possible, it's this one. Like highly, extremely highly possible. I think Trey Ogden is decent. He's gritty. He's really well rounded. And I think he can actually get the upset here. So on the entire card, if you were to ask me which fight do I think an upset is possible, I think it's this one. I think Trey Ogden has a good shot at winning. Um, a significantly high possibility, but I'm hoping the same thing I said with Vicente Luque. I did say I'm picking Temba Gorimbo, but the thing about what do you call it, Vicente Luque was that he was still in his prime, and I did say that you won't know when he shows up because he can show up at any time, because he's still in his prime, and the skills are there. It just depends on when he decides to actually put them all together and actually make a run. And I feel like the same situation applies to Thiago Moises. He's fought the best in the division, and I feel like he has that ability to actually get to the top, right? Um, so I think being with the fighting nerds is a good thing for him. I feel like Ogden could do a frustrating 29-28 out volume win. Yeah, I'm also worried about that, but I'm going to actually stick with Thiago Moises, to be honest. It gives me a little bit of hope to know that he is with the fighting nerds and it hasn't been, yeah, and it hasn't been that long since he's been with them, which shows that he's trying to improve and he's making the right decisions in order to actually get there, um, which makes me happy. So yeah, I'm sticking with Thiago Moises, but yeah, he's probably going to lose, unfortunately. If he shows up the way he's been showing up in his past fights, he's going to lose. So yeah, I'm still sticking with him. My subscribers picked Thiago Moises, and I'm sticking with him. But yeah, I might be significantly wrong about this one. So if you're looking for an underdog, this is the underdog. On to the next one, Marco Tulio versus Iho Potieria. My subscribers and I went with Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio is the favorite at minus 530. Iho Potieria is the underdog at plus 380. Do I think an upset is possible here? I don't know, man. Let me see. Let me see what I thought about the Jacoby Smith. Let me just look at this. I don't know. I feel like this is the same situation as Jacoby Smith. Uh, I think the main difference is here is that I feel like Jacoby Smith has the potential if his cardio does not let him down. Uh, I know that I got the round wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Moises. I think he's more likely to finish the fight, which is the same logic I had for going with Luke around two sub. I'm annoyed I went with the wrong round. Don't feel bad, man. Like it's hard predicting fights, man. I'm even surprised that my prediction accuracy in 2024 was over 70%. I know the predictions tracker said 69.9, but obviously he started in June, in September or something. UFC 302. So if you check from the beginning of the year, I think my prediction accuracy is somewhere in the 70 something percent. So it's crazy to think that I actually have been that consistent for an entire year. I'm considering how difficult it is to predict fights. It's incredibly difficult, like to predict fights. So don't be too hard on yourself, my guy. So Marco Tulio versus Iho Potieria. I have the same feeling about this fight as I had with Jacoby Smith. I feel like Iho Potieria has the experience, but I don't feel like he's locked in. And it's sad because I picked him in his last fight to actually win that fight. And I think he would have actually won had he not been eye poked throughout the entire fight, and the referee was just fine with it. And it's sad, man. I feel like Iho Potieria keeps getting the hardest challenges, the hardest opponents, and I feel bad for the guy, man. He's not being given an opportunity to improve by getting at least give him like layups at the very least. The guy has been fighting. I wouldn't say killers, but like every decent prospect, they give him Iho Potieria, and I don't feel like it's fair for him. Because I think I don't think he's that great, but I think he deserves a shot at actually building his name. I haven't gone to Abdul. This stream has helped me, bro. I've got 69% on Topology right now. Wow, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. I appreciate that, my guy. Um, and normally I also like these streams. That's why I do them, especially the upsets predictions, because my locks so far like have been really solid. Um, I'm even surprised. Like even I think people even if you hear me talking about my prediction accuracy being 70 something percent, don't think I'm confident. Like in every single fight, if you watch my streams, I'm worried every single fight because I might have 70 something percent, but 20 something percent of the time I'm wrong, and it terrifies me. Like I'll be comfortable if I'm at like 80% or 80 something percent. That's a little bit better because then it will mean I'm like I'll be maybe 15% wrong, or now it's like 25% wrong, which is a lot, or 26%. I need to decrease that number. But yeah, I'm glad that your prediction accuracy has increased. That's the purpose of the stream. I actually want to help you guys make money. Okay, let me not say it like that. I started this channel because I wanted to see if I'm actually as good as I think I am at predictions, and I think I'm pretty decent. I think I'm one of the best in the world, not just in South Africa, like in the world. So I think I've proven myself right, but I need to see if I can be consistent. That's the next challenge, and see if I can improve because 70 something is not good because it's a couple of percentages away from 60, and 60 is not that great. So at the very least, if I'm at like a distinction level, which is like 80%, then I'll be fine if I'm around that point. I'm sorry, bro. I'm late. Oh no. Don't worry about it, my guy. You can always watch it afterwards. But I'm still at the prelims, so you didn't miss too many fights. I'm still at the prelims, so once I'm done with the stream, you can always go back and watch the whole stream. It'll be available on the channel. Let me stop talking about my prediction accuracy. Someone will be in the comment section saying, "Yeah, this guy was saying 70 something percent. Look, his predictions are terrible." I always get that, which is always funny. Anyway, I think Marco Tulio is going to be better on the feet. I think he has power. I think he has good volume. I think he's decent defensively. Um, But I think Iho throws a little bit more than him. But I mean, the power is the equalizer for me, and that's the only thing I feel like Iho Potieria will have in this particular fight. I think it's going to be volume. Um, as far as grappling goes, I think Marco Tulio will have the advantage. So more or less, I feel like Marco Tulio has the same chance or probability of success as Jacoby Smith. The only difference is I feel like Jacoby Smith is a better prospect than Marco Tulio, but for me personally, I'd say their level of success for me in their respective fights is similar. So do I think an upset is possible here? I don't know, man. Unless his cardio somehow gives out, I don't see Iho Potieria winning this fight. I'm sorry. Unfortunately for him, I don't see Iho Potieria winning this fight. The only way he loses, the only way Marco loses is if I don't even think Iho Potieria will be able to finish him. So I think the only way I see Marco Tulio losing is through cardio. If his cardio is fine, he's not going to lose. So do I think an upset is possible here? I want to say yes, only because I don't have as much faith in Marco Tulio as I have in Jacoby Smith. Even though I say their probability of success is more or less on the same level, like I said, I feel like between the both of them, the person who I'd say is taking their career a little bit more seriously at this point, I'd say is Jacoby Smith. But for the sake of accuracy, I'll just say an upset is not possible here. I think Tulio is going to win, but the biggest problem I have here is that I don't trust this cardio. Cardio is a little bit different when you're fighting at lower weight classes. I mean, I think they're fighting at middleweight, which is problematic for me because a lot of middleweights, cardio matters. The lower you go in weight classes, even if you don't have that great of a cardio, I think the probability of you getting to a decision is a little bit higher because obviously the power is different. It's not as impactful as higher weight classes. There are a lot of variables, so it's hard. It's hard for me to actually decide. You know what? I'm going to be honest. If if I was someone who was putting money on this, I can't decide on Tulio versus Iho Potieri. Yeah, man. Okay. Vivek says that dude has judo in his back pocket. I could see around 1 KO for Tulio. It's Wamai. Okay, so a couple of people feel a little bit more confident in him. Um, so yeah, okay. Let me just say an upset is not possible because my only concern was his cardio. But if he has judo, a judo experience, a lot of normally wrestlers have better cardio than strikers in most cases. So people who have like a wrestling, any type of wrestling, whether it's sambo or whatever you want to call it, American wrestling, judo, whatever it is, as long as that person like has the background of wrestling. um I'm coming to Abdul right now. I'm still in the prelims. So whatever background in wrestling, I feel like those ones are usually the ones with a bit of cardio. So I'll just say an upset is not possible, but be careful. I don't know too much about this guy, but I think he should definitely win this one. I just feel bad for Iho Patieri. Anyway, on to the next one. Jose Johnson. Why? It's all busy, but yeah, it's all shit. Wait, guys. I'm talking to a friend. Jazakallah. Hey, Zara, go. Awe yan. Oh, na flow. Sure. Okay, I'm done. Um, so yeah, Marco Tulio. I don't think an upset is possible, but I'm a little bit worried. Anyway, on to the next one. Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunes. Jose John. My subscribers and I went with Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson is the favorite at -185. Felipe Bunes is the underdog at +155. Do I think an upset is possible here? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think Jose Johnson is going to be the better striker. He's going to be better on the ground. Yeah, yeah. I see this fight similar to Jacoby Smith, but the difference is Jose Johnson has experience in the UFC, so I feel a little bit more confident in Jose Johnson actually winning convincingly. Yeah, I don't think Felipe Bunes has a shot at winning at all here. I could be wrong, but it's crazy to think that the odds are this close. But Fatima Klein is -900. Hi. MMA and the odds. Anyway, I don't think an upset is possible here. There's so many safe fights on this card. It's crazy. And I think my subscribers and I said this fight is also safe, which is interesting. It's hardly like it's never this easy to predict fights. Um, I wouldn't say this card is easy because um, I'll be hurt if I get anything less than. I'm fine with getting three fights wrong. Anything more than that, it just breaks my heart. So, but I feel like this card is going to be a little bit more easier than most to predict. So I don't think Jose Johnson is going to lose anyway. I don't think an upset is possible. On to the next one: Punahele Soriano versus Uros Medic. My subscribers and I went with Uros Medic. Soriano is the underdog at +165. Uros Medic is the favorite at -200. Do I think an upset is possible here? Hell to the F, no, no, no. What's Soriano going to do, man? Like on the feet, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Uros Medic knocks him out. I mean, Matic Bagorobai had to resort to wrestling, right? And obviously, I will give him that the fact that like he came in on short notice. Um, so that's another thing. But Uros Medic was whooping his butt, and that's the argument that I was making when people were saying Rabeki, Bargen Orobai is going to dominate Rabeki and all these type of things. And I was like, guys, and he was losing on the feet. So this fight is a lot closer than people make it out to be. And I was right. So Uros Medic was whooping Maktik Bag Orobai, and Orobai is not like a scrub. He's not a can. And he had like a really decent fight with Rebecca. Actually, was voted the best fight of the year on the channel, the Combat Sports Awards. So, Mektek Bagoroba is a decent fighter, and Uros Medic was whooping him in the first round. Um, so, on the feed, Uros Medic is going to beat him up if it stays standing. The only way I see Punahele Soriano winning is if he somehow takes him down. Um, I thought I saw McBagorobai taking Uros Medic down a lot. I'm hoping he what do you call it? He worked on his takedown defense. I think that's his only weakness in this particular fight. I'm hoping that's not going to be a factor, um, because that's the only way I see what do you call him, Soriano winning. But in all honesty, I don't think Uros Medic is going to lose this fight. So do I think an upset is possible here? Nah, I'm just going to say no, man. I don't think an upset is possible. On to the next one. Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. My subscribers and I went with Austin Bashi. Christian Rodriguez is the underdog at +195. Austin Bashi is the favorite at -235. Do I think an upset is possible? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm conflicted about this. If Austin Bashi was coming in like on full camp, I don't know the background. I don't know if he's been training for an upcoming fight. If Austin Bashi was coming in like on full camp, um, I'd be a little bit more confident, right? But you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think Austin Bashi is going to lose, man. Um, Here's my reasoning, right? A lot of people call Christian Rodriguez the prospect killer. He beat Cameron. Did he beat? I think he beat Cameron Simon. Did he? I think so. I think so. I can't remember. I think he beat Cameron Simon. I think he beat what do you call him? Chiwiwis Raul Rosas Jr. He beat Isaac Dulgarian. Am I right? Was it Dulgarian? Yeah, I think it was Dulgarian. So so I feel like those fights and those wins were because of weight advantage. I feel like if you look at the fight with Raul Rosas Jr., the biggest issue I have is that Rosas Jr. was making a lot of IQ mistakes. I think Rodriguez was heavy to take down, so he should have abandoned it. I felt like he had a decent shot on the feet. Had he decided to just stay standing and just strike with Christian Rodriguez, I think Raul Rosas Jr. might have won that fight. I think in his head, he told himself, I'm going to take this guy down in camp, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. Until he gassed out, and unfortunately, it doesn't matter what kind of a chance you had. If you're tired, then you're striking, especially if you're not an elite striker. Early in the fight, I felt like if Raul Rosas Jr. had said, okay, it's not going to be easy taking him down, let me try and strike with this guy, I think he would have had a little bit more success. But he got tired. That possibility of success dropped down significantly. Um, he's fighting up a weight class. The first time Christian Rodriguez fought someone his own size, he lost, right? He lost. So it just tells me that the biggest reason why he was having so much success down the weight class was because he was heavier than a lot of his opponents. And a lot of his opponents were very young. Cameron Simon is I can't remember, but they're very young. Raul Rosas Jr., Isaac Dulgarian, all of them were very young, so they were not in their prime bodies, and that's why I feel like Christian Rodriguez has been able to have the kind of success he had. Right now, he's fighting people his size, and so far, it hasn't looked good for him. He lost the first time he moved up. I don't know if it was the first time, but he lost, right? Um, and Austin Bashi is not that much of a small guy. I think he has decent striking, so even if he can't take him down, I think he has decent striking. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I think Austin Bashi has decent striking. I mean, that's the only way I feel like Christian Rodriguez wins. Is through striking. Obviously, he has the reach advantage. He has volume. But other than that, I feel like Austin Bashi is going to be a little bit better. Um, but he's coming in on short notice, and despite everything I just said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm using this one. Okay, let me put it a bit down. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me now. Maybe when I do this, when I go down, like my chin actually covers the microphone. I wasn't actually doing it, and the ironic part was that I'm wearing it because normally when I'm holding the phone like this, like it covers the audio. So hopefully the audio is a little bit better now. So yeah, as I was saying, Austin Bashi is really good. I think he should actually find a way to actually get a decision. Okay, cool. I think he should find a way to actually get a decision. Do I think an upset is possible here? only because it's Christian Rodriguez. I'll say it's possible because despite everything I just said, the Christian Rodriguez is good. I mean, you don't just win fights because you're heavier. You win fights because you are good. Weight gives you a slight advantage in fights that you might have been significantly close and you might have lost a split decision maybe. And he arguably lost the split decision to Isaac Dulgarian, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so he's good, but I don't know, man. Upper weight class fighting people his own size, he's not going to have that much of a massive advantage as far as weight goes. In one of those fights that he derailed the prospects, I think he missed weight, if not two, I can't remember. So I feel like the advantages that he had will not be there. But Rodriguez is decently good, so should I say an upset as possible here? Uh, I don't know, man. I want to say it's not. Um, I don't know. It's January, so I haven't learned any lesson. Like I need a card to actually slap me in order for me to be like, oh, okay. I need to be more strict with my predictions. But I think Austin Bashi should win. Let me not say an upset is possible, man. Yeah, I don't think an upset is possible here. Only because of the short notice, but recently short notice has not really mattered. I mean, Dan Ige came in on 1 day's notice, and I know he was training for a fight the following week, but he came in on hours' notice, not even 1 day, and he actually performed well. Magdik Bagorobai came in on short notice, won. He came in on a couple of days' notice against Uros Medic and won. Tom Aspinall came in on a couple of weeks' notice and actually beat Sergey Pavlovich. So, in today's times, I mean, like, short notice no longer matters, to be honest. It's either you're losing, you were still going to lose it even on full camp or not. So, I don't know. I'm just going to say an upset is not possible. Hope this card doesn't slap my head off. On to the next one. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. My subscribers and I went with Roman Kopylov. I made a mistake. I made a mistake actually on the. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're still using the microphone's mic and not the. Let me check. No, maybe I didn't put it in properly. Let me actually take this off then. If you're still having problems, I'll I'll see what I can do. Let me actually just take it off and use the phone's microphone. Um, anyway, so Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. Um, my subscribers and I went with Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov is the favorite at minus 265. Chris Curtis is the underdog at 210. Do I think an upset is possible here? It feels unnatural for me to be saying an upset is not possible on so many fights, right? because because I'm worried. I don't think this feels normal because I've been saying an upset is not possible, which has never really happened. Like for so many fights, I've never really said this. And Chris Curtis is a really really solid fighter, but he's old now, man. Roman Kopylov is the more technical striker. I feel like Chris Curtis has power, but I mean Roman Kopylov has also knockout power. I think maybe what I'm trying to say is Chris Curtis learns with. Oh snap! Okay, I'm no longer going to use the microphone. Then I apologize. Um, damn, I thought I was doing something like. Man, I did. I just shouldn't have gotten the mic. Anyway, I'm not. I'm no longer going to use it. Like I thought. I thought it was Aria only. So thank you for actually pointing that out. I'll stop using the microphone because it doesn't really matter actually. I'm always close to the phone. Just that I was using it because I felt like I was covering up the mic whenever I was how I was holding the phone. So I felt like back to the predictions. I think Chris Curtis hits a little bit more impactfully when he lands. But I feel like Roman Kopylov is going to be a little bit more evasive. Chris Curtis was a little bit more effective when he was a little bit younger, but he's older now, so it's no longer the same, right? It's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to land because obviously age comes with a little bit of him being slower. I think might end up in finishes. A lot of the time, whenever I say an upset is not possible, um, it ends up being a finish. So I could see that happening here. Let me just double check. Yeah, nah. I think I'm going to say an upset is not possible here. I think Roman Kopylov is definitely going to win. Um, I can't believe I said this many fights. But I mean, it's not like I've changed the method. It's just that it means this card is easier to predict. I think. Um, I thought I should actually try and see how many fights I'm going to get wrong here. Let me see the potential. Okay, I'll do that once I'm done. So yeah, I think Roman Kopylov is definitely going to win here. Um, I don't think an upset is possible here. I think I'm going to stick with that. On to the next one, Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. My subscribers and I went with Cesar Almeida. Almeida is the favorite at minus 300. Abdul Razak Al Hassan is the underdog at plus 240. Do I think an upset is possible? Yeah, definitely. Not definitely, but I feel like Abdul Razak Al Hassan obviously has that nuclear power. The dude has 100% finishing rate, so obviously whenever he wins, he's going to knock you out. But once again, he's older. He didn't look slow in his last fight, but I mean, he was fighting. Who was he fighting? Uh, was it who was it? Who was it? I forgot. Can you guys remind me? I think it's a signal issue. Oh, okay. You're still having problems with the audio. The new mic was never on in the first place, and you were just covering Telvon's mic. It's perfect right now. Okay, I appreciate that, but it seems like Once Upon an Oil Fest is still having issues. Wow, the background is nice. Um, I feel like obviously Cesar Almeida is going to be the better fighter. He trains with Alex Pereira, so obviously Cesar Almeida is going to be significantly better as far as him on the feet. However, my biggest issue is the knockout power, but I don't think it's going to land because he also has the reach advantage. So it's not going to be that much of an advantage because I feel like with the technical abilities of Cesar Almeida as well as the reach, if the fight stays on the feet, he's going to pick apart Abdul Razak Al Hassan. My biggest concern is that Hassan was able to take the fight to the ground, and if the fight goes to the ground, I'm a little bit worried. However, I don't know, man. I feel like Cesar Almeida will have better cardio, and if he can survive on the ground, which I think he has been working on surviving, because a lot of people have been having the game plan to take him down, and it hasn't been working as effectively as they want it to work. And I think Cesar Almeida is good enough to survive the first round. And I feel like that danger with Al Hassan decreases after the first round. So I think I don't think it's going to be as effective in the second and third round. So I don't know if Al Hassan does not somehow take Cesar Almeida and finish him in the first round. I don't honestly see him actually winning in the second or third round. So, but an upset is possible here. I mean, Cesar Almeida is not the best grappler, so he can be controlled. So Who knows? Maybe Abdul Razak Al Hassan might do a little bit of damage in the first round, maybe control him a little bit in the second round, and do enough just to win the round, and then maybe Almeida might win the third round. I don't know. But yeah, I'll say an upset is definitely possible here. Not highly, but I think an upset is possible here. On to the next one, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Coston Harris. My subscribers and I went with Santiago Ponzinibbio. Am I right? Yeah, I think I'm right. This fight is even in odds. They are both minus 110. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah. Yeah. I think this is going to be a close fight. I think it's a coin toss. Let me actually explain myself. I think Coston Harris will have the reach, the reach advantage. I think maybe a little bit of accuracy and a bit of defense, I guess. Um, I think Santiago Ponzinibbio will have the power, the volume. Yeah, I think power and volume will be on Ponzinibbio's side. On the ground, I don't know, man. I don't know. This fight is 50-50 in my opinion, both on the ground and on the feet. Like, I honestly, I honestly don't know who to give the advantage to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Ponzinibbio will put him out. Not gonna lie. So all good on my end. Okay, awesome. I hope he does, man, because I picked Santiago Ponzinibbio, and also because I heard Short McGee was telling me about Ponzinibbio's situation. Like, he's been in and out, and he was a decent prospect, which is sad, man. That's why, and I replied, and I was like, you know what? I hope he wins and it gets, decent fights that allows him to make money. Because it's late in his career, so he can't make a title run. Unfortunately, at this age, I heard him talking about getting 20 more fights. To me, that's I need more money, right? Which is sad. So to me, that sounds like he's saying I need money. So I hope he get it. I hope he gets it. But if he's talking about 20 more fights, I'm hoping that he's been training because he's been saying like he feels really good. So that hopefully that translates into the fight because their age differences is not that big. They're both old. They're both over 35, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. I just feel like it's a coin toss, to like a literal coin toss. I think you have a better shot. That's why the odds are like this. Even on my end, I think you have a better shot, like just flipping a coin and just choosing who you think is going to win. But I think Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to win. I think the finishing ability, like there's a couple of elements that make me lean a little bit more towards Santiago Ponzinibbio. So yeah, I'm sticking with him, but it's a coin flip. I wouldn't be shocked if Coston Harris wins. On to the next one, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Hebers. My subscribers and I went with Amanda Hebers. So Mackenzie Dern is the underdog at plus 175. Amanda Hebers is the favorite at minus 210. Do I think an upset is possible? Hell to the L. No, no, I don't think an upset is possible here. I know a lot of people love Mackenzie Dern, and the pots that she has. Shit. I can be done sometimes. The things I say. I'm going to go with Ribas to outdamage Dern. Yeah, man. I mean, this is my philosophy on the channel. I have a philosophy. If people fought the first time, most likely the person who won will usually win their rematch. That's I could see a super unfair judge's decision to join. I mean, Hebus has some few things in the back. It's not like there's nothing there. So I felt like that could confuse the judges as well. Who should we vote for? Like, but obviously, I mean, Dern is packaged the right way, so the voice is there. Like, there are so many things that maybe might make the judges favor. Let me not say that one day when the channel is big, they will be digging. They say, "Ah, he's very sexist." Like I've seen, there's this channel that's going after everyone. I saw they were talking about MMA Joey and now how much of a, what do you call it? I I even forgot. So next thing they will be making a video about me and how sexist I am. So so it's not my opinion, guys. I'm just reading comments. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm a dude. I can see visually. I'm not saying that she's winning because of that, but we know the judges make horrible decisions. I can't say why in this particular instance, but I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Anyway, she can't wait. It just it's Wamai, guys. It's not me. She can't wait it just the right way. Wow. Anyway, Amanda Ribas won the first fight. Um, the only threatening thing that I was worried about, that I would be worried about in Mackenzie Dern is I heard rumors that she's on something that worries me. Number one. Uh, oh, once upon an alpha says the judges may see the bunda and not the damage. So my Ribas pick is highly risky, not confident. I need to stop reading your comments, you guys. Anyway, Mackenzie. I don't think so. I mean, I think Amanda Ribas is going to be better on the feed. Um, I think Amanda Ribas is also like. I mean, I know Mackenzie Dern is like is she like a champion in jiu-jitsu or something? I don't know. But I mean, it doesn't mean anything if you can't get the person to the ground. It's kind of like Gilbert Burns. I mean, you can have the titles all you want, but if you can't get the person to the ground, then what use are they? And like I said, I feel like Mackenzie Dern was a little bit more dialed in earlier in her career, and she still lost to Amanda Ribas. So if she lost when she was dialed in, I don't think she's going to lose when she's distracted by the fame and money because she was a little bit hungrier back then. She wasn't as attractive as she is right now. So the distractions are a little bit more um, because of the money, because of the fame. So I don't know, man. I don't see a path to victory for Mackenzie Dern. I think she's going to lose, but it's WMMA, so you know what. Mackenzie Dunn might go in there and just dominate her and just make me look stupid. So because it's WMMA, I'll say an upset is possible. Only because of that. But to be honest, I don't think an upset is possible. But because it's WMMA, an upset is possible. So that concludes the predictions. I think Dern is enhanced. I'm not talking about steroids though. What are you talking about? Oh, I think so too. She wasn't like that earlier in her career. Like if you look at her earlier fights, there are some points that are a little bit bigger than they used to be. So I'm talking about her arms, guys. Don't go too far and say things I didn't say. I'm talking about her arms. Anyway, um, let me give you my locks. There are a lot of them on this card. I don't want to get cancelled. It's rough out here, guys. It's very rough. Let me see. I'm going to give you confidence based on like my confidence level on the fighters. Let me see who's number one on my locks. Let's see. I'll say Jose Johnson is number one on my locks, and then followed by Jacoby Smith. No, followed by Magomed Gaziasulov, then followed by Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith is number three, and then let me see who else. Uh, oof, I'm worried, guys. Okay, let me just add them. Followed by Uros Medic, then Marco Tulio, Roman Kopilov, and Austin Bashi. So to recap, here are my locks, right? My locks are Jose Johnson, Magomed Gaziasulov, Jacoby Smith, Uros Medic, Marco Tulio, um, Roman Kopilov, and Austin Bashi. If you're feeling extra confident, you can add Amanda Ribas. But yeah, those are my actually confident picks. Um, so far since last year, since June, like my picks, my confident picks have been really good. I've been getting all of them correct. Like even when I get some wrong, it's probably one out of three or a one out of five. You know, even when I get them wrong, I've never gotten to a point whereby I've gotten more than one lock wrong. Like whenever I say fights are my lock, like whenever I say these fights are my locks, like I normally get them correct. So hopefully that streak continues. Um, Let me read your comments and then bounce. Once upon an oil first says he doesn't want to get cancelled as well. And many. What about Santiago and Constant Harris? I think we've already dealt with that. You can always watch the stream again, but I'll repeat. I'll give you a summary. I feel like it's a coin toss, quite literally. Even the odds reflect that, so it's just stay away from that. Like I know, I don't say this normally, but if I don't say a fight is a lock, it means I feel like it's risky. But I feel like I still feel pretty confident that Amanda Ribas is going to win. Um, so it's one of those fights that I would stay away from, but it's worth the risk. I mean, my advice is stay away from it. It's WMMA, but I feel so confidently that Ribas is going to win that if I had extra, I'd be like, let me just put it on her, you know. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. But there's so many safe fights on this card, and I don't think people are seeing them. Um, I guess we'll just have to wait and see because I'm actually worried about Kopilov, and like not necessarily worried because I'm worried because it doesn't feel right to say, for example, Austin Bashi is safe largely because Christian Rodriguez is a really good fighter, but I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. I feel like Austin Bashi is definitely going to win, and he stays in my locks. Once upon an oil for Santiago by KO. Manny Vasquez. Okay, the thank you, my guys. Once upon an oil first, I might make a log parlay with your picks. Yeah, man. I mean, if I was betting at this point, I was actually going to do that because so far, like they've been doing really well. On my, I think Santiago will behead him, but I've said this sort of stuff and been very wrong before. Okay, let me repeat the locks again. Nia Kayo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name properly. Okay. Number one is Jose Johnson. Number two is Magomed Gaziasulov. Number three is Jacoby Smith. And number four is Uros Medic. Number five, I'd say Roman Kopilov. Number six is, what do you call him? Marco Tullio. Number seven, actually, yeah, number seven, Austin Bashi. And then if you're feeling extra confident, you can add number eight, Amanda Ribas. It's WMMA, so risk level is always high, even when you're confident. The only time I've ever said a fight is safe in WMMA was Wang Kong, and Wang Kong lost. So when I say be careful, it's WMMA. Like, you can be the best in the world, but a scrub can still beat you up. So you have the best name in the industry. Parlay Princess. Princess. Sorry, my guy. Parlay Princess. I appreciate that, man. I get that a lot recently. That's what I was going for. I appreciate that, my guy. I should check out your channel. I don't. I think this is the first time I've seen you on the stream. Anyway, I love and appreciate all of you guys. I'm going to try and stream the fight, all the entire from the prelims up until the main card live. Parlay Princes. I do predictions too. I sub just because the name. um, yeah. Okay. There's a lot of people who do predictions. I think, what do you call? I've seen Baby Shop on the channel. I've seen who's this guy, and he's always on the channel, man. The guy who uses statistics only to make predictions. I forgot him, and I feel bad because he's always on the channel. Like, there's a couple of prediction channels that I see on the channel. Um, there are some that used to be in the top 10. People don't realize that I've been very consistent when it comes to my predictions. Um, when UFC predictions tracker started to track channels, right? Um, there were a couple of people that were with me in the top 10, right? And those people were coming on my channel and trashing my predictions. I won't name them. And they were trashing me and laughing at me when I got a fight wrong. And they're no longer in the top 10 right now, you know? So that's why I try to be humble all the time. Obviously, there are times where I'm excited and I'm really happy when I get predictions correct, but I'd never trash anyone just because their predictions are bad, unless they are terrible people. Then I think they deserve it. But I would never speak down on anyone. So anyway, I've veered off the actual topic. Yes, combat critique. Yeah, combat critique is one of, like, the main channels that I see on the comment section. I think almost every predictions that I make, I see his comment on the channel. So there are a lot of prediction channels that I see on the channel, which is an honor for me, because it means I'm doing something right. So I appreciate you, man. Parlay Princes, I'll be tuning in just to turn notifications on. I appreciate that, and I normally don't tell people to do that. That's something maybe that I should start normalizing. There are, it's crazy. My channel has over 3.3 million views, and the people who are not subscribed account for more than 2 million of those views, which is insane. So, guys, subscribe, turn on the notifications. It helps the channel. Um, I appreciate all of you. Whether you have one subscriber or zero subscribers, or whether you have 5,000 subscribers, it means a lot that you're on my channel. I don't discriminate. Even though the trolls like to discriminate, I don't. I'll see you when I do the live watch along. Yeah, I hate saying it, but you gotta sub, like, comment, and turn on notifications. Yeah, I appreciate it. Sometimes I feel like it annoys people, so I try to to not tell people. But I have my regular subscribers. Like for example, Once Upon an Oil Fest, Short McGee is one of them. Tweezy Rich is one of them that I know. I don't know whether they turned them on or not, but they are always on the stream. They are always in the comment section on the shorts, on the standard videos. You know, who else? Funny Guy used to be a regular. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's good wherever he is. So Wamai is one of the people that I see mainly in the live streams, which I appreciate. I mean, there are people who just prefer live streams. There are people who just want short videos. There are people who just prefer standard videos. The channel has all of that. So I appreciate all of you guys. And I mean it. Replying to your comments is not easy. So if I take time to respond to your comments, because I know last year I took time to respond to all your comments, it was hard because like the channel is growing, so I'm getting more and more comments. I'm trying to like it takes me a couple of hours to respond to all of you, but I make time every day in the morning when I wake up. I try to respond to all of you because that's how much you guys mean to me. I don't take your subscription for granted. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me on this path. I forgot. I just hit 14,000 subscribers. It's still crazy to me that 14,000 people have made a decision to listen to my dumb ass. Okay, I'm not dumb, but I appreciate you guys. It's I think it's unreal, but at the same time, I feel like I want to get to 100,000. I think the feeling of getting that plaque will make me feel like, okay, I'm on the right path. I feel like I'm on the right path, but I need that plaque. So I appreciate all of you. 14,000 is crazy, like, is insane. I saw the statistics on YouTube. They said that the majority of channels on YouTube are under 10,000. So for me to be in the top, I think 1%. I don't know how many percentages it is, but it's not that many people who have crossed the 10,000. So I appreciate the 14,000, and I can see the channel is continuing to grow. I forgot to thank you guys. Uh, we'll see. I'll see if I do a separate stream. But there's so many things that I want to do on the channel. I'm still stressed about the live watch alongs. So once that stress is out, maybe I can focus on other things. But we'll have enough time to talk when we do the watch along. Hope to see you guys there. Um, as always, I love and appreciate all of you. Okay, let me respond to your comments before I bounce. Um, Wamai, I'm gonna turn notifications on too, bro. Your interactiveness with the comments is very good. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I value you guys. I don't see you guys as just followers. Each and every one of you make my channel what it is. So that's why I normally don't like calling you fans because you're not fans. You are supporters because you support the channel. If without your support, you know, I'm the one who's going to be watching my channels. Parlay Princes, I'll try and send some people your way. Enjoy, enjoy the days, bro. Enjoy the day, bros. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why I also try to shout out your name on the streams. I always like to see people win, and that's why I also started the Combat Sports Awards. I'm trying to get the government involved so that I can actually start giving people money on the awards. I was talking to the fighting nerds, by the way. I was talking to the fighting nerds. They won Gym of the Year. They are probably the first people to win the awards that have been that excited. It made me happy to see them that like they were so happy. It was like I was giving them thousands of dollars. Like it was like I was giving them a lot of money. We were talking on WhatsApp. I don't know Portuguese, so I'm using translation softwares. So I've never seen anyone so happy to receive the Combat Sports Awards, and it made me happy. It shows that the effort that I'm making is actually being appreciated. So yeah, shout out to the fighting nerds, man. They really, really were happy to receive the award. So yeah, thank you guys. Also share the combat sports awards, man. Um, they are hard to make. I know they are short and everything like that, but they're very hard to make. They are harder than any video that I do on this channel because I do designs in Photoshop. I design everything, the layouts and everything in Photoshop, and then I take them into the editing software, the video editing software, and then I have to make the awards. Like it's really really challenging. Do the voiceovers and everything like that. So once upon an all fest, you were talking to the fighting nerds. Yeah, well, whoever is responsible for their social media, basically on WhatsApp. I was talking to them on WhatsApp, and they were so happy, man. Like, maybe I'll try to share the screenshots, but they were so happy, man. Um, I'll try to get an interview, but at this point, I don't want to do interviews. I actually even told them if they want to do interviews, I'm up for it. But for me personally, at this point, I don't want to do interviews as yet. I think there's so many things that I can do on the channel, and I feel like the moment I get too attached to to I don't want to get too close to fighters because it's going to sway my opinion. And obviously, I'm doing awards, so I don't want. But the nice thing about my channel is that the awards will forever be the winners will forever be selected by the subscribers, even if I moved the voting somewhere else. But I saw that YouTube is going to improve the community section, so maybe I can hide the results so that the element of surprise is there. Because right now the element of surprise is not there. Because you know who won based on like what you see. Like the video itself is just for the aesthetics basically, but you already know who won before you even watch it. So I'm going to I want the element of surprise to be there. So hopefully YouTube improves that particular aspect so that I don't have to use a third party to actually get the votes. Once upon an all first, look at how much Bro's channel has grown. I still have a long way to go, my guy, but 14,000 is crazy. Like, it's really, really crazy. Talking to the fighting nerds, I mean, I was talking to Javier Mendez as well. I have his email, but he's not very interactive. But I also Javier Mendez. I didn't even mention it. He was one of the first like people who actually responded to winning the awards in 2023, right? Because I started them in 2023. So he was like one of the first few people who responded. So I just didn't mention it because I didn't feel like it was worth mentioning. But there are a couple of people who, have shown decent interest, and I hope to grow the awards to a decent point. But once again, thank you guys for Once Upon an All First. Bro is major now. I'm not major yet. The moment you see an award show like a live, like my goal is to surpass the SPs or whatever their name is, the SPs. So, and I have a strategy on how I'm going to do that. So once you see me doing like a live award show that looks like the UFC, but like it's an award show, like that's when you can say, oh, dude is major now. I have so many plans for this channel. But yeah, thank you for 14,000 subscribers, by the way. Once again, not by the way. Thank you for 14,000 subscribers. I don't take that for granted. It's very difficult to get here, and I think I got here fairly easy. The only thing that I had to do was just put in the hours. But as far as creatively, I think the most amount of work that I did was at the beginning of the channel because I had to figure out the pacing of the video. There are so many elements that I had to figure out, but now it's just basically the labor of actually doing, adding information. So for me, for that to have gotten me to 14,000 is an incredible feat. I'm looking forward to growing with all of you. See you tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Depends where you are in the world. Because in South Africa, the live stream starts Sunday early in the morning at like 1 o'clock. So I'm going to try to live stream the event, and moving forward, I'm going to live stream. I talk a lot. Hope you guys enjoy it. But it seems like a lot of people enjoyed it the first time I did it, because ever since I've been getting so many messages to actually start live streaming the event. That's why I'm doing it. So see you when I live stream. Once again, I love and appreciate all of you. Until next time, deuces.